They called it a joke, the siblings rolling their eyes when their dad left Carmen nothing but a run-down gas station. "Take the 25 grand and walk away," they sneered, thinking she'd inherited junk. But the moment Carmen found that heavy brass key and unlocked the hidden door beneath the station, they realized she hadn't just inherited a business. She'd inherited a secret worth millions in power that could shatter them all. The fluorescent lights flickered unevenly in Mel's diner as Carmen Rodriguez balanced 3 plates on her forearm, the stains on her uniform telling the story of a double shift that started before dawn. Her tired eyes were shadowed by dark circles, but her smile stayed warm as she slid the breakfast plates in front of the family at table 7. "Order up," she called, and the father barely looked up from his phone. "We're good," he said flatly. Carmen glanced at her watch. 2 hours left until her shift ended. Then she'd have to pick up her 12-year-old twins, Mia and Luna, from school. Bright girls with their father's dark eyes and her stubborn spirit that were the only thing keeping her moving when her feet ached and her back screamed from carrying trays all day. Her phone buzzed school caller ID. Normally, she wouldn't check during work, but this time she stepped aside and answered. "Miss Rodriguez, this is Principal Gaines. There's been an incident with Luna." Carmen's heart sank. "She's fine physically, but there was some trouble with another student," the principal continued, voice clipped. Apparently, Luna had fired back at a bully with words sharp enough to demand a meeting. Carmen's stomach twisted. "I'm working a double shift today," she said, already knowing she'd lose wages and goodwill. The principal wasn't budging. "This is the 3rd incident this month." Carmen ended the call and hurried to her car, a peeling 15-year-old sedan that sometimes refused to open the passenger door. Her phone rang again. It was Marcus, her brother. She hesitated, then put him on speaker. "Where are you? I've been trying to reach you all morning." His tone was impatient, sharp. "I'm working," she snapped. "Some of us have jobs without assistants to answer phones." Marcus ignored that. "Dad's attorney called. The will reading is tomorrow at 2 p.m. The whole family's expected." By whole family, Carmen knew he meant Marcus, their sister Victoria, and their fancy spouses, the successful branches of the Rodriguez tree. Not her. Not Derek, her ex-husband who left her for his secretary and now lived in a lakeside condo while she fought for rent in a cramped 2-bedroom apartment. "I'll try," she said reluctantly, "but I can't promise." Marcus sighed, frustration bleeding through the speaker. "This is exactly why Dad worried about you. You never prioritized the right things. Victoria and I handled the funeral, the estate, everything while you were—" "What?" "Serving pancakes." Carmen's hands gripped the steering wheel tighter as she pulled into the school parking lot. "I'll be there," she said softly. "I have to go." The meeting went as expected. Luna sat stone-faced while the principal recounted the bullying. Brittany, the PTA president's daughter, had mocked Luna's clothes, saying they probably came from a dumpster. Luna responded with words so fierce the principal was concerned about her pattern of outbursts. Carmen looked at her daughter's defiant chin and the tears glistening in her eyes. "I understand Luna's reaction wasn't appropriate," she said, "but it sounds like she was defending herself from bullying." The principal nodded. "We're recommending counseling." Carmen felt the weight of another expense they couldn't afford. "We'll work on it at home," she promised, putting a hand on Luna's shoulder. In the car, Luna's voice was small but firm. "I'm not sorry. She says that stuff all the time." Carmen swallowed the fresh wave of grief that crashed over her. Derek had mostly been absent since the divorce, and yet, in the twins' eyes, he was still the fun parent who got it. "Your father says sometimes you have to stand up for yourself," Carmen told Luna. "But he's not the one getting calls from the school." Mia waited at home, worried. Carmen barely had time to make dinner before heading back for her evening shift. As they turned onto their street, a sleek black SUV caught her eye. Her sister Victoria stood beside it, immaculately dressed, sunglasses hiding her eyes, a contrast to Carmen's worn-out world. "What's she doing here?" Luna asked. Victoria greeted Luna with forced cheer. "How are you bearing up?" she asked, voice syrupy. "I hear you're learning to make Dad's empanadas." "How therapeutic," Victoria said, dryly to Carmen before asking to talk privately. Inside the cramped apartment, Victoria's eyes swept over the sagging couch, mismatched dishes, and water-stained ceiling. "Marcus said you were being difficult about tomorrow," she said. Carmen was too tired for pretense. "I wasn't difficult. I was realistic. I have to work. Surely you can find coverage for one afternoon?" Victoria pressed, the words loaded even you. The family disappointment. The college dropout waitress. Carmen held her ground. "I told Marcus I'll be there." Victoria's tone shifted. "Marcus and I have been reviewing Dad's finances. It's worse than we thought. The gas station's been losing money for years. There are back taxes, outstanding loans." Carmen's defensiveness flared. "Dad supported us all on that gas station 20 years ago. These last few years have been hard, but Marcus and I help him make ends meet." "That's news to me," Victoria said with a thin smile. "He never mentioned it." "Because he didn't want you to worry," Carmen thought bitterly. Before Carmen could respond, the front door opened. Derek stormed in, suit still on, face thunderous. "Where's Luna?" "I got a call from school." Carmen's headache was building. "It's been handled," she said tiredly. "This is the third time this month," Derek snapped. "If you can't control her, maybe I should." Victoria slid past with an uncomfortable murmur. "Good to see you." Derek lowered his voice. "The girls need stability. Your living situation and work hours aren't it." Carmen's patience snapped. "What they need is a father who pays child support on time and shows up, not one who cancels weekends for his new wife's plans." Derek's jaw tightened. "Stephanie and I have social obligations. If you'd accepted that promotion instead of quitting." "I quit because they wanted me to work 60 hours a week with no flexibility for the girls." Carmen cut him off. He glanced at his watch. "I have a dinner meeting. Tell Luna I expect better behavior, and you try to get it together for their sake." After he left, Carmen leaned against the door. She should be preparing for her shift, not navigating family chaos. Mia peeked in. "Is Dad gone?" Carmen nodded, forcing a smile. "Yes. Come out, both of you. I need to make dinner before I go back to work." Luna's expression was stormy. "He thinks we should live with him and Stephanie." "He didn't say that," Carmen replied. "They call us baggage when they think we can't hear," Mia said quietly, and Carmen's blood boiled. "I'll talk to your father," she promised. "No," both girls said. "He'll just deny it, and Stephanie will be worse next time." Looking at these resilient kids already navigating a world no 12-year-old should, Carmen felt the weight but kept calm. "What do you want me to do?" Luna said quietly. "We can handle Stephanie. Just don't make us go there more than we have to." Carmen nodded slowly. "Okay, but promise you'll tell me if things get worse." As she cooked, her thoughts drifted back to Victoria's warning about the gas station's finances. Estrella Gas Station had been her father's life for decades, a small operation with fading yellow stars and cracked concrete, overshadowed by corporate chains. Yet to Carmen, it was more than a failing business, it was legacy. After dinner, Carmen called Mrs. Patel, who watched the twins while she worked. She couldn't afford to be late. The evening shift at Mel's was a welcome distraction, but the looming reading and the mysteries of Estrella weighed heavy. That night, she pulled out an old photo album her father had given her, proof of a life full of quiet strength and sacrifice, from his immigrant beginnings to family birthdays and simple joys. Tears came freely as she whispered, "I miss you, Poppy." The next day, dressed in her simplest black dress and worn heels, Carmen headed to the attorney's office downtown. She found her siblings waiting, polished, successful, confident. Marcus was quick to mock her appearance. Victoria's judgment was palpable. But the attorney, Michael Reeves, greeted her with kindness, reading their father's last will with clear intent. Roberto Rodriguez left Marcus $50,000 and a collection of vintage manuals, Victoria $50,000 and his vinyl records. But to Carmen, he left Estrella Gas Station, all its contents, the attached apartment, everything. Marcus laughed bitterly. "This is ridiculous. She knows nothing about business." Reeves assured them Roberto was of sound mind when he made the will. A letter from Roberto followed, words that wrapped Carmen like a warm embrace. He explained the gas station was her legacy, A symbol of freedom and opportunity he trusted her to honor. Marcus and Victoria's faces darkened. "It's a money pit," Victoria said. "Sell it and get something better." Carmen looked down at the album, at her father's proud smile. "I need time to think." Her siblings pressed, offering 25 grand, then 50. Carmen refused. She owed it to her father to understand the true value of what she'd inherited. After everyone left, Reeves handed her a small envelope, brass key, and a note. "Some doors are hidden in plain sight. Look with your heart, not just your eyes. Take care, Poppy." Carmen felt a strange resolve. She wasn't selling, not yet. She needed to know why Estrella meant so much. 2 days later, she stood in the cracked concrete lot of Estrella, the faded yellow star hanging above like a ghost. Memories flooded back: her father behind the register, the twins running wild in the aisles. Candy bars slipped when she wasn't looking. "Mom, are we going in?" Mia called. Carmen unlocked the door, the bell jingling softly. Inside, dust motes floated in the weak sunlight, shelves sparsely stocked, the scent unmistakably her father's. They explored the small apartment upstairs, clean, humble, filled with framed family photos and books in languages Carmen couldn't identify. Opening drawers, she found strange items: passports in different names, a coded journal, foreign currencies, and a locked safe. Using the brass key, she opened it to find USB drives, a handgun, and photos of her father with men in uniform and high-ranking officials. Her world tilted. Her father, a man who changed her clothes, helped with homework, had been involved in something much bigger than a gas station. The bell jingled again. Marcus stood in the store, smug and impatient, with a developer friend offering $200,000 for the property. Carmen declined firmly, determined to uncover the truth. More visitors arrived. One, Elena, claiming to be a diplomat and a friend of her father's, hinting at the hidden layers beneath Estrella. She warned Carmen of enemies and offered guidance. As Carmen dove into decoding the journal, she unraveled a decades-long intelligence operation. Estrella was a CIA safe house and communication center. Her father, an immigrant, a code specialist, had been quietly serving his country under the cover of a humble gas station. He left her not only the property, but an inheritance worth over $200 million spread across offshore accounts, properties, gold, and trusts, all hidden to protect the family and the mission. Her siblings had been involved in shady dealings: Marcus in illegal technology transfers, Victoria in money laundering crimes their father had been quietly investigating. The pressure to sell wasn't just about money, it was about control and covering up dark family secrets. Her ex-husband's new wife, Stephanie, was a foreign operative, targeting the family for her own agenda. The stakes rose quickly when masked intruders tried to break in, seeking the secrets hidden beneath Estrella. With Elena and James Harrington, her father's trusted colleague, Carmen navigated threats from enemies and betrayals from her own blood. Legal battles erupted, arrests were made, and Carmen stood firm, running Estrella, protecting her daughters and embracing the legacy her father entrusted to her. Months later, Estrella was transformed: modern pumps, a cafe, and a subtle memorial to Roberto's life and work. The twins flourished in their new home, learning the family's complex history and their own roles within it. Carmen balanced managing a legitimate business, a covert intelligence operation, and raising her daughters with resilience and grace. She knew the road ahead would be tough, but as she looked at the memorial plaque outside Estrella, she whispered softly, "I won't let you down, Poppy." What about you? Have you ever discovered hidden value where others only saw junk? Been underestimated by those closest to you, only to prove them wrong? Share your stories in the comments below. Let's hear about the unexpected treasures in your life. And if Carmen's journey touched you, consider subscribing for more stories about courage, legacy, and the truth beneath the surface.